Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation in Provo, Utah. Jarom Jordan, Jason Shepard with you. We've known our next two guests for a long time, and they have produced a book. I will be consuming this in the next, 8 hours or so, if it's up to me. It is 100 years of BYU football, historic moments, memorable victories, legendary players. Duff Tittle, Brett Pyne are in the house, the authors who work in the athletic department and sports information. Guys, welcome to the show. Rarely do we have you on camera. We're going.
You guys are usually standing over there watching the athletes.
Exactly.
That's a great place to be.
It's great to have you here.
Thanks.
You guys have been friends for a long time. What was it like to write a book together?
In many ways, it's kind of like a bit of a, I don't know, it kind of capsizes our friendship for all these years. We have known each other a long time, and we've been to a lot of events together, and we've been behind the scenes on the last 25 years of BYU football, and so it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It probably helps that we know each other pretty well, just because when you're working on a project that big, that kind of magnitude, it's a lot of work, and you have to kind of divide how you're going to do things, and we know each other's strengths and weaknesses probably better than we'd like to. So in that respect too, I think it was good. It was a fun project.
So take us through the genesis, how this started, how long it took you to, we're talking 100 years of BYU football. It's probably not something you guys did in about 2 weeks. So how long did it take, and what was the genesis of kind of getting this going?
It started with this idea from some previous books that I'd written where I had a lot of material that wasn't used. So we started talking about it maybe 6 or 7 years ago. And then started the writing about 2 years ago. So it was a 2-year process to go through all this information that we had, and there's over 400 photos in the book too, and that was a huge process, trying to find really unique photos that maybe haven't been seen before.
Yeah, more earnestly, probably the last couple of years, just a lot of research and making it all happen, and really deciding that when we knew it was going to be the 100th season, saying, hey, this is the opportunity to tell some of these stories that let people really have a little different appreciation for some of the things that have happened over the history of the program.
And it's pretty fun because you go through chronologically, and there's little inserts like, oh, in comes Paul James, in comes Gregor Bell, and so on and so forth. I noticed at the back a little BYU Sports Nation, so thank you for the mention there, which is great. Yeah. And the relationship we've had. Okay, some people are like, well, wait, didn't we start in 1922? World Wars, there was a couple of years where BYU did not play. So this is the 100th season of BYU football, and there'll be a lot of celebration this year around BYU football's 100th season.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of conversation internally on what we're going to do with that celebration. There'll be something going on each game and some other things that are not quite completely figured out yet, so we won't spoil it.
And you got to read the book to know all the history to see the celebration, right? It'll be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a fun year for fans, and when you look at all the history and the legacy of the program, and there's so many ways that people connect with it, whether it was whatever era you happen to be in. You mentioned Paul James. I mean, one of the things we touch on here is how broadcasting really has played a big role in helping BYU football become the brand that it is, and whether that was on the radio side or the television side. And so there's a lot of those things, and everyone's going to connect with different things. And hopefully this season, as fans, as we get ready as an athletic department to announce some of the things we're going to be doing, they'll have those chances to come and just kind of celebrate, the history and how it's meaningful to each one of us in maybe different ways.
So this is for both of you. Despite being as close to the program and its history as you guys are, I'm going to assume along the way there was probably something like, wow, I didn't know that. What did you learn about BYU football that maybe you didn't know going in?
I think on this book particularly, my parents met at BYU in the late 1950s, and I heard stories from my father about how the program wasn't very good, and there was challenges, but we found the reasoning behind that in some stuff that we found in special collections at the BYU
That's a
library.
gold mine, by the way.
Oh, it is. It's
Put on those white gloves. It's fun.
It is. It's an amazing thing to go in there. But we found a lot of stuff that even though we've been here, like I said earlier, 25 years plus, we found a bunch of things. But one of them was the advent of scholarships. And because up until maybe late 1950s, we weren't playing on an even playing field with others, particularly in the state. And so everybody goes, why couldn't we beat, fill in the blank? Or why was the program struggling?
Why were we so good at basketball?
Yes, exactly,
But not
right,
football.
exactly, yeah. Why were literally a basketball school?
Yeah.
So that's a chapter that I think is really cool. Especially, it was an aha for us. It was like, okay, we found it out. There
This
it
makes
is.
sense why we were like, let's bring in Marines.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you gain a different appreciation for decisions made in administrators and different people. I mean, that's President Wilkinson at that point. Later, President Wilkinson also, we were in the midst of, as a program, in the late 50s to mid 60s, we had 6 straight losing seasons. But in that time frame, they determined that they really needed to expand and build the stadium. So on the footprint where the stadium is now is when that took place, that initial Cougar Stadium. And again, it speaks to the fan base that there's the interest there, and really how things exploded and how they were prepared for what ended up happening in the 70s with Lavelle when he took the helm, and how things just kind of blew up and the program being successful on a bigger level.
The moment the stadium gets adjusted in some major way, the next year, the quarterback does something crazy or the team does something crazy. I think we need to do it again because it's 64. 65, Virgil Carter is awesome. They win the WAC. 82, 83, Steve Young's second in the Heisman. So just saying, just saying. We do want to show a picture, and you talked about the personal touch of sort of the memories and the personal connection associated with BYU football. This is you two at the Miami game in 1990.
Look at those young whippersnappers.
Duff in the back left, Brett in
Look
the
at
front right there. What do you remember from that night and the connection to perhaps the greatest win in BYU football history?
I think a lot of people ask us that question. What's your greatest moment, having been there for as long as we have? And for me, it's the greatest athletic event I've ever been to. I've been to NBA playoffs. I've been to World Series games. I've been to the Masters a couple times. And that game is, for me, the pinnacle of being a fan. It was a magical night. It really was. By the time we got to the fourth quarter, we were all just exhausted. We were. And people forget, no one scored in the fourth quarter, but Miami drove it deep into our territory multiple times, and we came up with defensive play after defensive play. And so by the time that game was over, we all just were exhausted. You can see in that picture that they're rushing the field. We didn't even bother. We were too tired.
Like, I'm tired. I'm going to take a nap.
You're standing the whole time that game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And as you watching some of that footage there, Ty was just a magician, and he became the Heisman candidate that night. I mean, he just put on a show, and when Russell Maryland and his teammate collided, that was pretty epic. But yeah, that was just a great night, a fun night to be a Cougar fan.
The energy was unbelievable that night. You almost couldn't take it. It was so strong, continually.
Ty said he's like 100,000 people have claimed they were at the game, which is funny. And then he said he hurried into the locker room. He didn't want to miss Lavelle's speech. No one was in.
No one was.
Well, thanks for coming on. We could talk for hours about this, but check out the book, 100 Years of BYU Football. Duff and Brett, thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us. Appreciate it.